What's up, everybody? Like, share, subscribe, hit the Cash App, hit the Zelle in the description box, man. I'm gonna try to be real quick with this. Try to be real quick because I'm finna go off. I've been holding a lot of shit in for about 2 weeks now. I told myself I was gonna stay off of YouTube because I have a problem where when I'm unemployed, nothing matters to me more than finding a job. Because it's hard for me to put things in order in my life when I have no job, no income, and I don't get on social media to beg for money because I know I know the struggle that the average person goes through where they cannot afford to help out some random stranger online. So a lot of times when I see certain things going on in the news, man, I don't really care to. I really have to force myself to just not turn this camera on and talk about it because, again, without having a job and stuff like that, it's like, what's the point? And then on top of that, you know, YouTube is dying, and the only financial support that you can possibly get off of YouTube is through donations. You know, so YouTube won't take the cut and Google take their cut and all this other shit that goes on with people trying to support you on this platform. So the first thing I want to talk about is something that I've said several times already in the start of my videos, is that I am ready to be homeless again. Okay. If you don't know who I am, I was homeless for 3.5 years. I lost my job at Domino's. Someone stole my wallet and I just threw a fucking fit. Punch walls, headbutt the wall, kicked over a chair. Nothing too extreme, but because I have such a big personality, I'm a quiet person, but I have a big personality. They fired me. And when they fired me, I immediately called my brother after my little brother committed suicide back in March. And, you know, I really just felt an overwhelming amount of anger and disappointment where I called my brother. And I have to mention my brother's suicide because if this would have never happened, if my little brother was still alive, nobody would have came to my aid. Nobody. So when I called my older brother, he picked me up, and you know, me just wanting to be around other, because what I had on my mind was to retaliate, was to go to this job and, you know, really, really hurt somebody. And when I had made the decision to come out here with my brother, I was out here for maybe a week or two. And during that time, I started looking for work because after like the first week of being here, I had already just wanted to start going back to work. It didn't matter where it was or anything. I just wanted to go back to work. So when I found a job out here, you know, I ended up working there, I think for my first check. And then they fired me. The lady said I wasn't a good fit. And as angry as I got, it took, you know, the knowledge of other people in this family to be like, oh yeah, bro, you know, a job can fire you for no reason after 30 days or some shit like that. They don't have to give you a reason. And once again, because I have such a big personality, I'm quiet, and I'm more focused than somebody who is vibrant and everybody's conversation and shit. They've just found that to be you know, a job that I'm not fit for. You know, you really had to be a special case of retarded to work there. And I don't mean that just because I'm angry with them or something. You could tell a lot of people that work there were mentally handicapped. So after that, I have had 6 interviews. Not one job has called back. And I'm very limited to where I can work. It just came to my attention. I told my brother, I said, dude, you know, I could have had a job, but the fact that I'm limited to just basically 10 to 15 miles, 5, 10, 15 miles, and nobody took that. See, when I tell you guys I'm on my own, even though I live with family, even though a lot of people know my situation, I'm really on my own. And, you know, why everybody is trying to figure out why I'm not working, am I putting forth max effort and all of that, the fact of the matter is I'm limited. I can't go that far out of town because I don't have the transportation, you know. And my brother's girlfriend mentioned a transit, you know, but then again, I would have to go and backdoor and asked my parents, which my parents are still suffering from my brother's funeral. That was a lot of money that they put up. So I've been here at my brother's for 6 months now, living with his girlfriend and her kids. It's 4 of them. A 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 14-year-old. And living here, my brother was explaining a lot of things to me before I got here that was frustrating him. The filth, the out of control behavior of the kids, the combative relationship you and your girl got, her family members being toxic, etc., etc. And for the first time, I told my brother, bro, I don't want to hear anything else. And this was like right in the midst of him picking me up and me just kind of seething in anger. But I told him, I said, bro, don't tell me anything else about what's going on in this house, because it's pissing me off. And that don't happen often, where his problems started to become my reality. Like, damn, bro, that's you know, man, I don't even like getting off from work. As soon as I touch the damn doorknob, I'm like, ugh. And 6 months later, I have experienced everything and then some that my brother experienced, which leads me to the homeless deal. When I was homeless for 3.5 years, man, it wasn't as bad as you might think. I lived outside, but I can probably count on 2-3 fingers how many times I had a rodent invade my privacy. Probably because I accidentally left something out. A lot of times when I would crawl out of my tent, I would forget the trash right behind me because my hands would be so full with shit that I'll come back home around this time when the sun's down and see the bag of whatever I left there ripped all open. And the one time that I actually left it open, I got inside the tent. This tent, I couldn't stand up in it. But when I got inside and I sat down and unloaded and got ready to chill after work, a fucking rat runs right across my lap. And I went Super Saiyan. I damn near like bust through the top of the tent. I was that just, you know, disgusted with that. So the point of that is living in a home where you watch when you move, because when I came over, they were moving into this home that they're in now. I helped them move. So everything in the beginning, of course, no rodents, no rats. When they were moving out of the house that they were in before this one, my nephew, who's 5, was like, you know, you have to sleep with the rats, right? You know, my brother was like, these are like baby squirrels, basically. So we move out of that house into this house, and I cannot lie and fabricate what I'm about to say, which is this house had no rodents. Now this house has roaches galore, okay? I've already shown videos panning around the kitchen and the living room. I have stood firm on my decision to never clean that fucking house again, ever. Because it gets too dirty, too fast, and the children are just so far out of control that they're basically going to kick dirt on a floor that you just swept, theoretically. Any dishes you wash, you're going to look at that sink in a couple hours and it's going to look like, what the fuck happened? It's comical, the filth that they live in. It's comical. And coming from living outside for 3.5 years, keeping my area clean, never had a roach. If I did have a roach, you guys, again, cut me some slack. I'm living outside, but you get the point. The point is that, hell, I could have invited a female over to the goddamn tent in the middle of the woods, and she could have spent the night, woke up, not having to worry about a roach being on her, a rat coming in the tent, a possum coming in, none of that shit, right? Because of the way I was raised, that is unacceptable. You do not cook a meal and leave every goddamn thing that you prep the meal with on the kitchen counter. I'm not even going to go through the slew of things that I've shown y'all on camera, how ridiculous this house gets when it comes to the filth that my brother has already... See, so that's number one, which is the filth, okay? Number two, of course, like I said, it's the children. They're out of control. Nothing is worse than a child that knows they are annoying, but they don't care. They're just going to keep it going. They're going to make loud noises. I've already made fun of them, how they make noises and shit. They, 8:30 in the morning, they whistling and clapping their hands and just being very disruptive. Plain and simple. You're just being disruptive. And because of the shit parenting, I'm telling you now, if I was a caseworker, I would take the kids from these niggas just because they are horrible parents. There's not one thing I look at that they do that I say, oh, that's some admirable parenting behavior right there. Fuck no. Okay? I'm gonna take a different route. Nothing they do, everything that they do psychologically, spiritually, mentally, is fucking these kids. It's screwing these kids up beyond repair. And every time my brother says, oh man, if I do something and, you know, it's her fault. No, it's not, bro. It's y'all's fault. Everything starts with you guys. Y'all have made the home a playground, bounce house, football field, battle rap arena where they disrespect each other as brothers and sisters. Shut up. They just walk through the house telling each other, shut up. They don't even be talking. They just, shut up. There is nothing more disgusting than listening to a 14-year-old girl talking as if she is 34 years old, using phrases like, oh, I don't talk to my ex no more. Excuse me? What the fuck are you talking about, an ex? You're 14. Oh, come on, CJ. You mean to tell me you wasn't dating at 13, 14 years old? I was. But the difference is now that I'm an adult and I can look down on that situation, I'm like, dog, nobody is going to say anything about this behavior. This is detrimental to a development, the development of a teenager. So I'm having to hear that type of, you know, the mother, oh, you got you a little, is that your little boo thing? Something like that. It's disgusting. It is flat out fucking, a lot of times I have to just get up and go outside. Dead ass. I have to just get up and go sit outside because I cannot stand to hear that shit. My brother is like a walking corpse. He don't respond to shit. He actually treats the daughter with kid gloves the same way my father treated him with kid gloves. And instead of putting your foot down saying this is unacceptable, you strive more to be liked. You understand what I'm saying? Where I've already set the tone in the house. I don't give a fuck if you don't like me. If I hear, see anything stupid, you're gonna sense it and I don't even have to look at you. I've told them when me and my brother got into it, didn't really get into it because we were raised better than that. We respect each other. But his girl was relaying to him, oh, CJ told Nemo to get out of the living room. My nephew name is Nehemiah. His nickname is Nemo. And he acts just like Nemo. Yeah, it was almost like a 1 in a million chance of having that name with his personality is crazy. But he texts me from work, oh, we not gonna have no problem with you and Nemo. You gonna have to adapt to us, point blank, period. And I'm thinking to myself, first of all, little, lady man, because my brother acts a lot like a fucking female. I said, I didn't tell your son to get out of here. I told him, Nemo, please. Because at 7:30 in the fucking morning, he's throwing, I've already showed this on camera, he's throwing cars in this bucket that's just making a stupid amount of noise at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. So my brother's thing is, because again, he's spoiled. So he doesn't know when boundaries have been crossed, when lines have been crossed. He'll think somebody's trying to oppress him. So he's telling me, oh, but I don't want to change how he played. That's how he play. I'm just like, no, that's not how he plays. Because when he's around me or he's in this living room with me like he did today, and y'all come busting through the fucking door, the same door that y'all damn near knocked off the fucking hinges. Like if you don't push the door shut, the motherfucker will just swing. It'll just open back up. They didn't tore the whole fucking door up because they walk inside the house out of control. They just literally like body the whole goddamn door to come inside. And Nemo will tell them, like he's, because I told him that, I said, bro, Nemo is normally the one that's kind of respectful. Nemo's normally the one that tells them, hey man, shut the fuck up. Uncle CJ still asleep. Turn that shit down, man. Turn that shit down on your phone. And he's 5. And you would think he's doing it on purpose. Like, as far as like, oh, maybe if no, it's in him. And he knows inherently, like, bro, we being way too fucking loud. They did that shit yesterday. Came through the door. Boom, 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 boom. And he was like, yo, chill. A 5-year-old. He was like, bro, chill. And it made me so happy. My nephew is probably the one reason that I actually want to stay, because I don't want to miss out on all of these precious moments. My nephew is, he's very precious, but at the same time, because of the out of control behavior that they allow, he's annoying. He gets annoying at times. He gets annoying on like an adult level of like, little nigga, goddamn boy. You see? So I've seen two different personalities from this 5-year-old that if you allow him to watch the TV at a decent volume and stop all them weird ass noises, basically watch how, and I've already told y'all this, his mama was like, I got a feeling you don't act like this when I'm not here. And she looked at me and was like, does Nemo act like how he act now when I'm not here? I was like, no, he doesn't. Like, I almost have to remind the little nigga that he got snacks he can eat and shit, because he don't even eat. Like, he just be so into whatever he's doing. And so she was like, I wonder why he does that when I get here. And the daughter took the words right out of my mouth and was like, because you'll give it to him. And of course, being a parent that had a child out of wedlock, your response is, no, I don't. Like, it's funny. There's nothing funny about that. It's disgusting. You are creating what will soon be very difficult adults. Adults that are very, very hard to deal with. And like I said, I can already see the writing on the wall. My brother is tolerated. He's not liked or anything like that. They tolerate him because he's he's the type of man that when he gets home, he shuts his brain off. He ain't worried about anything extra. You basically bothering him after work. Anything before or after work, you're bothering him. If it ain't basketball, you're bothering him. And even that. You know what I'm saying? So it's you just have a lot of bad behavior. And like out of control animals or pets, they reward, and I'm gonna put my brother in it too, they reward bad behavior. The dog that jumps on you, and now you done bought somebody to your house and the dog treat them like they treat you. They just jumping all over the place and scratching the motherfucker up, and you're just doing what? Calm down. Sit down. Sit down. You want a treat? And that's the same shit that they do over here. The house looks like a fucking tsunami hit it, and you're still offering these niggas cake and cookies and shit. Bro, I done got so many inside jokes I be doing. Like, when they wake up in the morning, I'll say something silly like, hey, Nemo, you wanna have Twinkies and cookies with mommy? Like, cause it's damn near like that. Hey, you wanna have whipped cream and donuts with mommy? She's so fucking mentally fucked off that she actually, you can tell at some point in the day, she's gonna come like fuck with the kids as if she's one of the kids. And my brother's girl, man, like I said, bro, I've gotten to the point mentally, I am demonically influenced when it comes to how I talk about her in my head. I don't say it out loud. I used to kind of mumble it, but now I've gotten to the point where I'm in my own head like, you fat fucking son of a bitch. You stupid ass know-it-all fat ghoul shoving shit into your ghoul hole. Like, I go hard on her in my head. I didn't ask God for forgiveness and try to edit that shit out, but I just like, fuck that shit, bro. Fuck that shit. Because this behavior, I clearly don't see how my brother deals with this shit. I don't understand it. Other than what I've said several times, which is, in most cases, like in this relationship, both of y'all are such pieces of shit that y'all are perfect for each other. Because somebody is not going to challenge the other one. And the one that's probably doing most of the challenging, the wife, the girl, you're going to just take a backseat and shut the fuck up because you don't know how to, you're not self-sufficient. You need her to cook for you. You need her to do this for you. You need her to do that for you. That's pathetic. My brother is a pathetic example of a man. Very pathetic. I was talking to my brother today about a movie I saw last night called Nefarious. That basically is one of these movies that go underneath your nose, but it's telling you exactly what this world is. And I'm telling my brother, and of course, again, they have no consideration for other people's feelings or anything. I don't know how many, and I guarantee you, if I tell my brother, he gonna be like, bro, I noticed that shit. She kept cutting you off. She kept interrupting you every time you was talking. Exactly. How the fuck can you be with somebody like that, bro? Like, I can't do it. I can't. And the one time that I was talking and she was talking to him, I was like, oh, my bad. Like, y'all were talking. I didn't know that y'all were talking to each other. I'll wait. So I'm telling her or my brother about the movie, like, yeah, man, this movie basically tell you that some people, they just get so smart with all these degrees and all of this shit, and they totally miss out on the spiritual experience of life, understanding how a person can be taken over by evil. It's just because you got a degree and you've read all these books, and that dude that was demonically possessed with the demon Nefarious, but he said it in Latin. And he was like, all this shit you think you know, I already know that. You gonna diagnose me with schizophrenia? You gonna diagnose me with this? You gonna diagnose me with that? What are you gonna diagnose me with, bro? I know everything you went to school for. And he had two personalities. Nefarious would talk, and then the guy that was actually incarcerated, Edward something, he had a stuttering, like a speech impediment problem. But the point of the whole movie was, I told my brother, like, this is one of them movies that, this ain't like no regular old exorcist type shit. Like, he tells you, like, bro, our whole objective being demons, fallen angels, is that God is the enemy, okay? And our job is to influence and hopefully convert children and grown-ups into living out their wildest fantasies. If you want to kick a kid in the head, or if you want to have 13 females as your wife, whatever you might, just do as thou wilt. Okay? That's the whole premise of it. And he is basically convincing this man that he is a demon. And this guy who got 1,000 degrees is like, I don't believe in that. And he's like, all right, well, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Well, I'm going to tell you now. He said something else in Latin, basically saying, like, I am legion. In this one body is so many demonic forces. And she's cut me off. Oh, you know why I don't watch movies like that? What? You know, I don't want... And they're not questions. She's trying to get something out that, like, until I ask you, what do you think? Shut the fuck up. You know why I don't watch movies like that? And her thing was, you know why I don't watch movies like that? It's because spirits can get into my house. Shut the fuck up, you fat ass idiot. Shut up. You mean the same spirits that crawled through your kid's ass through their phone, where they now know what pussy popping mean? You mean the same demonic forces that got your daughter in there saying, fuck, 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 at 11 o'clock at night when y'all trying to go to sleep to go to work? You mean the same demonic forces that got this boy over here trying to run plays on y'all so he can stay home from school? So the minute y'all hit the door, this nigga just act normal all of a sudden. All the coughing and all that go out the window. You better shut the fuck... Boy, I swear to God, man. And I'm sitting there like... and again, everything I talk about now, I could tell my brother. He gonna be like, yeah, I noticed that shit, bro. She let these niggas do all of this mischief. And then talking about you don't watch movies like that because a spirit might get into your house. If you don't shut your stupid, fake ass, wanna be superstitious ass up. I even told him about the eating habits that she got. I was like, bro, all this goddamn eating that she do, it does nothing when she goes and exercises because she eats too much. And then she try to cover it up with a big girl gotta eat. Well, you're gonna be eating by your goddamn self. Cause I can't be with somebody like that. We done ate a full course fucking meal and then you go to the store and get a whatchamacallit and a Coca-Cola. What kind of shit is that? Overstimulated. But you know what road? You know what technique I took? I said, I'm gonna just take the high road. I say, bro, if that's your girl and you love her and you want to be with her, all this filth and shit that we talk about, it shouldn't even matter to you, dog. It shouldn't matter to you how upset I get about this filthy ass house and these disgusting ass kids. Because if that's your girl and you love her and you can look past that shit, that's all that matters, my nigga. And you know what he says? Yep. Nigga wearing this bitch on a t-shirt. Kind of cuck ass shit is that? You wearing your hoe on a shirt. Like you don't look at her ass all goddamn day every day. I'm telling you, boy, my brother is the biggest fucking soft ass I've ever seen. And, you know, he'll look at me as the guy that you would think you would think I was an off-duty pimp or some shit. Ain't no bitch about to talk to me like that. All that jaw jacking and shit. Better sit your ass down and shut up. Every time I got something to say about something, you want to argue about it. And that's something I was going to tell him. Like, every time she want to go and play ball with us and shit, bro, even though you're not going to do this because you're afraid, tell her to sit her fucking ass at home and master this house. How about that? Instead of you trying to be a 255-pound basketball player out there with us, how about your ass sit at home and master how to clean your home? Master how to teach your children how to upkeep the cleaning that you've done. Not just, I swear to God, man, I've never seen anything like this in my fucking life. The kitchen is clean, and then you just open a bag of noodles and they're just noodles all over the fucking floor. I've already told myself, bro, y'all wouldn't know what a noodle was till you damn near can buy your own. The way y'all leave noodle debris, you leave the damn seasoning pack on top of the counter, seasoning every goddamn well. Bro, you niggas wouldn't know what a fucking noodle was until you were old enough to go take your ass to the store and buy your own. And even then, you ain't cooking them in my house. So like I said, man, I'm ready to go back. I told them niggas the other day that I think I'm only out here to get my legal documents together so I can have an address to get all this shit mailed to and then take my bitch ass back to Houston. Because I cannot be around these low functioning, dumb ass people that are filthy. They're fake. These niggas sat there probably for an entire trip to my parents' house, which is like 30 minutes, talking about water. Aquafina tastes better than Fiji, but Fiji tastes better than Dasani. But Dasani got that taste though whenever the bottle get hot, you know. But it's shut the fuck up, dude. And I'm just sitting over there, and I'm more and more comfortable coming around my parents and them niggas and not saying shit. Like, I want y'all to know, like, why don't this nigga ever talk? Cause y'all don't talk about nothing. Y'all are sitting here talking about and you could tell, cause it's like, cause he goes over there and gets my mom's car so he could take his car to the shop. And after this nigga didn't, I swear to God, I'm so ready to go. He's telling me, I told him, I was like, on Friday or Saturday, I was like, hey, you going to mom and dad's? Because I had planned on apologizing to my father for something I said before COVID. I got real mad at him and told him, shut the fuck up, nigga. And hung up the phone. And my brother Xavier, kind of brought it up when we were hooping. And I was like, yeah, I think I need to apologize for that, bro. Because, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel that same way like I did back then. So I was asking him, like, are you going to mom and dad's house? If you go, I want to go. So he just keeps saying, I'm not going. I'm not staying, right? We're just going to pick up the car and we leaving. I'm not going. We're not staying. We're not going to talk. And he says this shit like 3 different times. And we get to my mom's house. What do you think we did, y'all? Sat our motherfucking ass down and talked. Because in my mind, I'm like, you're going to go to the house, walk inside, get the keys, walk out, get in the car, and we're leaving. That's not even how we roll. That doesn't even sound like, no, it's not going to happen like that. I promise. So we sat there and talked. And I told you, that's his real mother. That's my stepmom. So I could sit there literally for 2 hours and she won't say, hey, have your headaches gotten any better? Hey, how you feeling, CJ? She'll do it just because it'll get awkward. Like, well, it has been an hour and a half and I ain't really even looked at the nigga. Hey, CJ, what's up? But I did get a chance to apologize to my father and put that spiritual frequency out into the world of my dad is still alive. And no matter how much I think I know more than him and all of that, it doesn't matter. He's still my father. And I'm not supposed to talk to him that way. And I got angry with him at that time because I thought I would never need him or see him ever again. You know? So like I said, man, I am ready to go back. What going back will do for me is help me deal with the unemployment a lot better than being around these motherfuckers. Because, again, when I was homeless, there is nobody around for me to look at, for me to listen to, for me to get irritated by, annoyed, any of those things. And I think coming out here gave me the understanding like, yeah, bro, that was a moment in your life where you needed some help, but you ultimately know how you function. And I think I just function better on my own. I don't want to listen to your girlfriend announce to the house she got a fart. I don't want to listen to the little 14-year-old girl in the house saying I got a fart. You know, that's almost like her, you know, they play fight and the next thing you know, she just let go of a fucking fart. And I don't have time for that shit. It's fucking gross. I don't have time for kids waking up at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning and they want to have a dance fest. I don't have time to wake up and see that your girlfriend is getting annoyed by the same thing that I told you in the beginning when she was sitting there saying, oh, you can eat whatever you want in there, CJ. There's whatever you want to eat in there. Now my brother's telling me that she's telling him about he must be eating all our food. And you know what my brother told her? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, because he told your bitch ass in the beginning he's buying his own food. He was like, you tried to make it sound like he could eat whatever he wanted in this bitch. He was like, he told me, he was like, bro, have you noticed I've not said anything to you yet? I said, yeah, I've noticed it, bro. I told him probably a week after I was here. I said, bro, I already know how this go. She's going to start wanting to take food in the room. She's going to start having little side conversations with the kids about what I'm doing when they not around. All of it has happened exactly how I said it is. They got a whole fucking pyramid of snacks in there for her fat fucking ass. I just seen one of the boys this morning. This motherfucker makes noodles, goes in the room and come out. I'm thinking he's trying to make him a drink or something. This little bastard is making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like, and I'm like, where are the fucking noodles? Like, where'd that go? You just walked in there with him. And he looked like, because of the way I said it, I was like, God damn, boy, didn't you just have noodles? They the type of kids, they just eat shit because it's there. Just because it's there, they gonna eat it. And like I said, I can't be around that type of stuff, man. It's greed, gluttony, undisciplined. And then you want to turn around and yell at the kids, cuss at the kids, threaten the kids if they're not doing something that you asked them to do. You asked them to clean up something, they're on their cell phone as if as if it's glued to their fucking face. And then you want to get the fuck off the fucking phone. Whose fault is that? Aren't you the same person that just burnt the fucking food because you had your face into the fucking phone? And burnt the chicken that was in the fucking oven? Dumb fuck. This is the type of shit that I'm talking about. I can't be as intelligent as I am or have the level of common sense that the size of a fucking anthill, and I'm around these type of people. I ain't the smartest thing. I ain't the most intelligent thing. I don't take myself serious, that, you know, any of that. But being around these type of motherfuckers, it's almost like signing up to just... It's damn near the equivalence of being at a daycare. Like, you're going to deal with kids that you know nothing about. You can't really tell them anything, you know, so you just got to take it. Like, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is, bro. I've been looking for work like nobody's business. I didn't text this girl on 2 different occasions. Hey, can you text your brother and see if I can go to work with him? Hey, can you text your brother or give me the number? I'll ask him. Brother, she didn't even like acknowledge it. She didn't read it. She didn't text me back. She didn't say nothing when she got home. She just took advantage of the fact that me and everybody was outside playing basketball, and I was kind of like, you know, like getting her rebounds and throwing it back to her. And that was her opportunity to try to open up to see if I was going to engage with her, because she knew she never replied about the money. I mean, about going to work with her brother. So what does she do? When we get home, she try to come over and show me something on her phone about somebody out here is looking for a worker and something like that. I was like, nah. I mean, I called him immediately, and the guy was like, if you can't make it to the location in the next 10 minutes, then don't even worry about it. I keep telling these niggas, bro, I'm going back to Houston and all of that, and they like, you haven't even tried asking your parents. I'm not a spoiled motherfucker like my brother, and so dim-witted where I'm just gonna ask that type of shit and not think that I don't know what the answer's gonna be. No. I keep telling y'all, who my brother is who they think I am. I'm the one that's supposed to walk up to my mama, hey, I got a new piercing. Hey, mama, can I use your card? Knowing full well I don't have a license or anything. And I'm just, basically, you just testing them. You just testing them to see what you can get away with. As a 32-year-old man, you acting like a fucking child that's wanting to test your parents. No, brother, that is your avenue. That you that's the avenue that you go down. You don't sit up and ask my dad, can he use the keys to the, like, he was just playing, but he was like, Dad, I can't get the keys to the charger. I can't. My dad was like, you gonna put premium gas in my shit every day? No. You know, he just wanted to play with my dad like that. Like, why the fuck would you even play with dad like that, bro? My mama made a reference. We went to a benefit thing for one of my alcoholic cousins that got cancer now. And my mom was like, yeah, we're gonna see we're gonna see what, you know, what's edible here, because the food ain't done yet. And this nigga was like, what, weed? And I'm like, brother, like, why would you even think that's the reference that a deaconess, a churchgoer like my mom and your mom would even make? Why would you even think that? You fucking idiot. But I told you, that's the type of shit he can get away with. She asked you what y'all gonna do and all of that, and he, well, I guess, Mom. I said, so if we gotta do that, Mom, then I guess, Mom. Like, everything with him, it sound like he's annoyed. Like, you make me sick, bro. And as a nigga that still just kind of got his head on his shoulders with this whole even giving a fuck about y'all as family members, bro, I just want to get the fuck out of this house. I want to get out of this. I'm playing the part right now. How the old folks say, I'm faking it to make it. I hate these fucking kids, bro. I hate these fucking parents. These niggas have done more harm than help. And I'm to the point where I'm just like, yeah, man, if I can go and donate plasma and hit the food bank and search for jobs out there in Houston using the workforce and all of that shit, then that's what we gonna do. Because this shit here is petty. And it ain't good on my nerves. It got my nerves all bad, man. These kids are fucking horrible. So, that's what's been going on in my life. I'm back at the house now. Like I said, I might have a bunch of videos just pile up and drop them all at once. Simply because my mind is in another space, man. What's important to me is that I find a job. If I was to find a job and still have to live here, I think that would probably be the first time in my life that I make a significant sacrifice to just get the fuck out of here, so that I can make sure that I'm not going to work pissed off. I'm not going to work without my rest. So I'll fuck around and, hey, Dad, I got a job. Do you want to go half and half on a camper or something? And I can come back to the property and, you know, still get to work or whatever. That's how bad I want out of this motherfucker. The smell, the idiocy, the thoughtless inconsideration. It's just, I can go down the list. I can't really think of one positive things these motherfuckers do outside of his girl being a fat fuck. So she really doesn't really it's really a lot of my discipline, because I don't eat anything that I know is not mine, or if they got that for work, or even if it ain't been opened yet, I'm not gonna open it, you know. But I can't really think of anything that's like, oh yeah, that's worth staying here, other than a fucking hot shower. That's it. So I'll be back in a second, guys. Hello. It is Wednesday, 4:30 in the morning. I got a little bit of rest. Now I'm just taking a little walk to reluctantly get this video out, because, as I often say, I don't have the time. Well, I have the time, but I don't have anything else that I could think of to be able to get my thoughts out of my own head. And out of 500 videos, I've never pressed play and thought to myself, I shouldn't do this. This feels like an outlet akin to writing in a journal, like back in the day. It's a cheaper form of therapy and counseling when you hear your own thoughts, especially when you're not an idiot and you know how to, articulate your own thoughts, and then, to transfer that into words, to put on camera, to talk at a decent pace, and all of that different stuff. It's, it works for me. I'm going to try not to be too long-winded. I'm going to try to talk clearly and not be all over the place. What I experienced in my life is a blatant and a plain as day scenario of being misunderstood, taken as a joke, and it has its moments where I constantly get reminded of why I should be by myself. Okay? I had an opportunity to get $10, an old cell phone I had, and didn't think it was worth much of anything. So when I got the Kroger and I put, the phone inside the machine or whatever, and through my own idiocy, my fault, something you won't hear from other people in my family, which is, well, I'll leave that alone, but it was my fault. Okay, wasn't paying attention, and the machine basically took the phone without spitting out the $10. Okay, slow down, I'm walking fast. And when they did that, $10 in my world of unemployment, in a world that I live in where you cannot casually just ask your parents, for $10. You can't casually ask, people that you would consider your family and friends for $10. That's a lot of money to me. That puts about 2 to 3 days in between the next time I gotta ask somebody for help. And when that happened, of course, I got very upset. Came home, storming through the door, and my brother's girlfriend was home, and I didn't know she was home until I seen the light in the kitchen on, and because that's a thing that they do, cut lights on in broad daylight. And oh yes, I'm gonna eviscerate these motherfuckers, because after I got my rest, I woke up with that same attitude of, no, I still feel the same way, that I'm sick of you bitches. So when she came around the corner and was like, what's wrong? I immediately started to spiral more than I already was. Started punching myself in the face and in the head, because I was telling myself I can't do shit right. I can't do nothing right. So I told her to unlock the storage room, let me get my clothes out, and I'm going back to Houston tonight. I will walk because I know that my brother is such a piece of shit. I told y'all, anything before or after work, you're basically bothering him. You know, outside of being having his mama dwell within his vessel, not a man's spirit, but his mama's spirit. Again, he's very moody and just very difficult to gauge from day to day. So, and he wonders why people don't want to come up to him and ask him for shit. You know, he's the same person that'll say a person got too much pride to come ask him for help. A person got too much pride to do this and do that, right? So after, you know, she tells me, yo, you know, just wait till your brother gets home. And I'm under the mindset of, I don't want to hear anything this motherfucker got to say. I don't want to hear nothing he has to say, because he's going to say exactly what I know, which is a bunch of drivel. You just need to, which I'm going to explain exactly why. So, they're out getting the car and running errands and stuff. When I say getting the car, I mean his car was in the shop, so they had to use my mom's car, take her car back, and, you know, come on home or whatever. And of course, like the inarticulate, dumb motherfucker that they both are, and I call them that because a real adult will offer to have a conversation with you about something that they probably heard, or you know, something like that, where it was, okay, well, I'll talk to him when I get home. You know how many times there have been situations where he just comes inside, and I told you, once he get off work, the minute he hits the car, he shuts his brain off. Everything else to him is, you bothering me. The one time that we had an issue about me asking him for $4 to get some ibuprofen and some migraine relief, right? He says what he says in a text message, but then when he gets home, just walks straight to the room. And that was our really first little, you know, shakeup or whatever as brothers, because I'm, you know, under the assumption of, bro, I'm not asking you for anything. You're so adamant and so excited to buy me some basketball shoes and all of this, you know, but when I ask you for money to help me relieve the pain that I have, that will allow me to play basketball with you, that would allow me to go out and look for jobs and fill out applications ad nauseum and all of this other shit, you then take it as if I'm asking you for money to go buy a bottle of alcohol, like I'm trying to buy ecstasy or something from somebody. Like I'm asking you to buy me a goddamn, you know, whatever the fuck, bro. I'm asking you for something that relieves pain to keep me moving forward. And again, he's new to all of this health shit. So of course, anything that he enjoys or anything he feel like he knows something about, he's gonna go overboard with it. Okay? Just like I keep saying the word pride. This motherfucker probably don't know the definition of pride. He don't probably know the difference between an ego and pride and confidence. He doesn't know the difference. I told you, he's one of these people that grew up hearing certain phrases like fake it to make it and don't let that pride get in your way. You know, a lot of these black colloquialisms and shit, these little sayings that just get tossed around. To when you actually go through that shit in life, you don't even know you don't know where to, you don't have a reference point, because you just keep hearing these words and you never had to apply them. You've never done anything in your life to say, man, I was a prideful motherfucker back then. Case in point, you keep getting with these women, having children with them, and them basically leading you around by your nose. Because you're too prideful and egotistical to be by yourself. To be by yourself. And your definition of being by yourself is being back at mom and dad's, where you can, you know, be on the private road and nobody's bothering you and shit like that. So, he gets home And, just, he's on that type of time where we don't even want to look at each other and shit like that, right? And, later on, I seen him going outside, and I was like, I'm, walking, these are what I would call humiliation rituals, right? These are what I call humiliation rituals where like a dog, like a stray dog, right? I have to tuck my tail, bow my head, and walk behind somebody that, theoretically speaking, can turn around and say, "Get your ass out of here, nasty ass dog." And this happens often with me. This is how I know that if it wasn't for what the Indian man at the smoke shop said, these are moments where this is God talking to me through other people. Okay? And that brother told me when I got to that smoke shop, he said, "Man, look, what happens to a bow and arrow when it's pulled back so far?" He said, "You know what happens, right?" He said, "That's all that's happening, bro." He said, "You just being stretched back so fucking far that when they let go, bro, you're going to soar so high, so far, so fast that it's going to be unbelievable." And you know what? That's exactly what I've been telling myself, not out of pride or comfort, or how the kids say now, to cope and shit. I really feel like, bro, there is no reason for me to go through all of this shit that I'm going through to one day end up saying it amounted to nothing. And then you know what the humbling and the feeling that I get outside of, it's not a sense of, I don't know the word for it, and for the sake of time, but I don't tell myself that because I think I'm better than everybody, because, none of that. It really feels like, bro, I'm going through all of this while still accumulating wisdom and knowledge, while still having my personality attached to me, where, all these things where I feel like I might be damn near 40 years old, but the minute I find this job or, whatever happens in my life where I don't have to work to go to work. Do you understand that? I don't have to work to go to work. I go to work, I come home, everything's fine, bills are paid, got to make a sacrifice here and there, as a worker ant, as somebody who is just a cog in this machine, which I'm okay with. A lot of my personality is just like Charleston White. That's why I'm so grateful for social media, because it allows you to understand that you're not losing your fucking mind. It allows you to see people miles and miles away that think like you, talk like you, behave like you, and you see the type of repercussions that come from that. You see the effect from that. You know how many people will say, "Man, Alex Jones is full of shit." But then you know how many people say, "Bro, Alex Jones was damn near the first person I ever heard talk about stuff like that." I got respect for the dude. Can't listen to him, but I got respect. I get the same treatment. The same treatment. When people refer to Charles, when people refer to me as, yeah, he say some wild ass shit. Like when I told my brother about these kids, you can go ahead and put a fucking lid on it, bro. None of these niggas are gonna be professional athletes. So you're wasting your fucking time you gotta go left and put your foot over there and step back. You look here, don't even waste your fucking time. All y'all doing right now is garnishing memories, take pictures so that y'all can later on in life have something to talk about that's irrelevant, but it'll make y'all laugh and joke and giggle and, think of the past and all of that. That's all y'all doing. These kids are too dumb and fucking lazy and trifling to be any type of athlete. And when I say stuff like that, that sounds wild. It sounds wild for me to say, yeah, man, this little girl that y'all got in this house, the only thing y'all have to worry about, which is crazy, but all of these precious moments that she's displaying as a teenager, brother, y'all just need to wait with bated breath on when she come in here and say, I'm pregnant, what do I do? Because me personally don't see any type of accomplishment or anything of significance outside of, hey, you're going to basically coast through life doing the basics. I graduated, I took a test and passed. But I don't see anything in your future outside of, mama, I'm pregnant, what do I do? And when I say stuff like that, when I used to tell my brother, bro, Jeremiah, my brother who's deceased, Jeremiah is not going to college. And I made that assessment when he was like 16. How do you know? You don't, I mean, he could shut the fuck up. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You think I'm that disgusting to just make a statement like that because I just want to? No, nigga, it's something that I can see. So when I make statements like that, it is a little Charleston White-ish. That's why when I discovered that guy, I said, man, people treat this nigga like I get treated. You got half of the population, 500 million people saying, man, that nigga be spitting real shit. And then you got another 500 million people that, oh, hey, man, he crazy. He's the problem with black people. So I know what it's like to have a love-hate relationship in my life. So I follow my brother outside and I explain to him what's going on. And he's you got to do something different. You got to do something different. And I'm like, what do you, again, I'm playing the part where I'm pretending to actually care about his opinion. I was like, well, what do you think I should do? But half of me is actually, I really do want to hear other people's opinions. And that's the crazy thing about me, is that I can talk that shit like that, but then open up my mind and my heart and my spirit to be wrong. I could be wrong. You know what I mean? So when I ask him, what do you think? What do you think I should do? You already know. We already had it. No, reiterate it for me, please. I mean, you just you not trying, and because I don't have time to try to think about what exactly he said, but he's basically saying you ain't trying hard enough. Everybody offering to help you. You could have got your shit together. Blah, 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 blah. So while he's talking, I'm thinking to myself, this is exactly why I don't care for anybody's opinion other than the opinion of a total of probably 5 hours of content a day. I listen to long-winded content, and I got that from my dad. My dad used to listen to sports talk radio, and as a kid, I'm riding in the car like, how the fuck can you listen to this shit with no TV? He used to read newspapers. He watched black and white TV shows. So my mind has been prepped since I was a boy to be able to consume long-winded content, knowledge-based content. So as I'm listening to him talk, and he was better off slapping me in the face. Those are verbal slaps in the face to sit here and say, this is how and this was the same thing I used to tell my roommate. It makes me sick to have to open my mouth to people that I know are not hearing me or listening. You hear me, but you're not listening. Because even though time after time after time after time after time again, I'm right about shit outside of my own personal life. Hell, I'm right about shit that I've gone through. While you shaking your head, yeah. Telling you about your fucking girl, telling you about these fucking kids, telling you about all this other shit, and you shaking your head. But when it comes to the effort that I'm putting forth to try to get a job and better myself, all of a sudden I'm not trying hard enough. All of a sudden, all of my efforts are being overlooked. You see what I'm saying? And it is the highest form of disrespect to not only me as a man, but to me as your brother. Nigga, I talk this shit around you all the time. And you see, this is like I said, people want to see physical proof that you know what you're talking about. Right? That's why Charleston White said I had to go put gold teeth in my mouth. I had to literally look like a fucking rapper for these dumb bitches to listen to me. Because they're not gonna listen to a nigga with some raggedy ass dreads and, you know, no call, no jewelry. They're not gonna listen to you. People have been made to be blind, deaf, and dumb. They're not listening to you. So after he disrespects me and, you know, says that I'm not trying, that I could be doing more, and I should have had this and I should have had that. Not what I've already accomplished while being here, getting my ID, doing certain things that it's a big ass dog walking my way off the leash. And I think that's that same fucking dog, or it might be a coyote, who knows? But all of the shit that I've been able to accomplish, I told y'all when it came time for me to get my ID, everybody's second guessing where the money going. Did you get it yet? Why you spending the money on that? And when they gave you money to get your ID, has the ID been obtained? Yes. Mama tried to help you with your social, but you ain't even try to do that. Did I get the social security card situation figured out? Yes. You ain't even tried the Workforce Solutions. Have I tried Workforce Solutions? Yes. So he then brings up, and listen to how fucking retarded this sounds, right? They bring up, well, when I say they, he brings up, well, you not gonna get, you not going to get where you want to get working these food jobs and all of that. And I tell him, I understand that, but you see, this is where I'm different from other people, right? The same fast food jobs that y'all are saying, and when I say y'all, I really do mean, like, I really do think everybody kind of think I'm supposed to have this warehouse job, and work 12-hour shifts. I'm up at 4 a.m, don't get home till 5. You know, I get it. Have I applied for jobs like that? Absolutely. Part of it being I don't want to be in this fucking insane asylum of a house that y'all got, so I would rather be gone most of the day. But in waiting on that opportunity, I'm not too prideful. I'm not too lazy. I'm not too good to sit there and say, well, I'm not going to apply for a fast food job. Can you imagine what the narrative would be if they say, nigga, have you applied to McDonald's? No, I ain't working at no damn McDonald's. Because I can tell you now verbatim who would say that. I don't want to say no my brother names, but I can tell you some people now that would, hey, have you applied over here? Have you applied over there? Man, I ain't working over there. I ain't working no job paying me $15 an hour and working me like a slave to flip patties. I ain't doing that. Versus, man, I've applied high and low, far and wide, left, right, up and down. I told y'all, I've applied for jobs offering $9.25. Don't get a call back. I've applied at jobs offering $17 an hour. Don't get a call back. Which I did get a call back, but they were fucking around with the Skype, the over the phone interview. Thus me hating this fucking modern day technological way of finding a job. Virtual interview. What kind of stupid shit is that? Anyway, so I've put forth the legwork to find a job. And because, I mean, there's a little voice in the back of my head that tells me, well, you got to find something to do, right? You got to find something to do. You got to find something. And then they would say, you better apply shit. You better get on at that little ass gas station. You better get on at that food joint. But instead I'm hearing, hey man, you need to stop applying for them little ass jobs. Why? So I could be like most of you niggas that got kids and legal issues and all types of whack ass, like wacky bills and shit y'all gotta pay. So I have to basically sit idle, don't move, don't do nothing until one of these high paying jobs call me back. You shut, boy, I ain't built like that. I'm sorry. I'm a working man. And a working man, if I gotta get on my hands and knees and clean shit, or if I gotta sit in a fucking desk and don't drop a ounce of sweat and make phone calls all fucking day. I don't care what it is. But that is the greatest form of being misunderstood. Being around stupid ass people. Being around people who don't even take their own advice. Being around people who don't understand that when they were struggling, they wasn't always in the right state of mind. Something tells me that this $10 that you had a problem giving me, if you've been unemployed without that fat bitch laying next to you, that you would have said, hey man, we got some weed to smoke. Hey man, we got a little bit. You would then understand the significance of $10 and what it means to me. But you sitting there shaking your head, you got to do something different. And I'm like, bro, I don't have to do shit different. I don't have to. And this is what I was talking about, mental double duty. I don't have time to sit there and think about, do you think I'm trying hard enough? Fuck you. I don't give a fuck about what you think. I don't give a fuck about what you think. And so he then starts to regurgitate this, we don't have money to feed an extra mouth. Oh, really? Let's go ahead and debunk that. You got, first of all, a 5-year-old who every day wastes food. Every day. He's going to throw away at least a lunch bag worth of food. A lunch bag meaning like a lunch to take to work. Undoubtedly, every time. Unless she buys something from like Wendy's or something, you know, shit that little kids like to eat. He ain't gonna finish everything on his fucking plate, right? He's a spoiled brat that don't eat the sides. He'll just eat the meat or whatever the main course is and throw the rest of it away. And then you get a dumb, stumbling, bumbling dad that'll say, man, you wasted food today. That's a nice car. You wasted food all of a sudden. No, he's been wasting food. He's been wasting food. What the fuck are you talking about all of a sudden? You feed this nigga a village of food before he even eats dinner. So the food that he's throwing in the trash, that's a plate. So then let's move on to the next one, the 10-year-old. The 10-year-old is not that bad. But the 10-year-old is literally fed by his phone up until the point where he'll be on that motherfucker till damn near for 2 hours while his plate is in his lap. He ain't touched shit on the plate. He might take something off the plate and eat it, like, you know, nibble on it. But for the most part, he don't even touch his plate because he's into his phone. Right? And a lot of this can be resolved by just taking the phone and turning the TV off where they don't have anything else to look at other than their plate. That's how I was raised. When we did have cell phones and had our kitchen table where we could see the TV. Right? That's how you can fix that. But when you so fucking retarded and you don't know how to, then you think it's everything else. So that's another plate of food that out of 7 days a week, he's going to waste at least 5 of those meals, 4 to 5 of those meals. Right? Okay, so you don't have money to feed an extra mouth. This is what the fuck I was saying when I said that if my brother was still alive, none of these motherfuckers would have offered me to come back. None of these motherfuckers would have said, hey man, yeah, you out there bad, bro, come on out here. Because they would, this is the shit they would have said. We can't feed an extra mouth. Meanwhile, your whole fucking trash can is full of a week's worth of food. And you can't tell me, well, I could take that to work. You don't eat leftovers, nigga. You damn sure not gonna take the same thing to work 2 days in a row. So you can miss me with that shit. So then you move on to the 12-year-old. The 12-year-old, he has that I'ma just eat it cause it's here syndrome. I told y'all the other day, this nigga made ramen noodles. He just did it today. Had a full course meal, chicken, sweet potatoes, rice, and a biscuit, right? Or a roll, excuse me. And I have to say that because this dumb, fat, lazy, stupid bitch cooks breakfast biscuits with dinner, and it just has an awkward taste to it. Breakfast biscuits versus a roll. So today we had the roll with it, and this was our meal, right? This nigga comes back probably an hour later, right? And is making ramen noodles. Do you know how disrespectful and how wasteful that is? Huh? That you just had a full course meal and now you in here making noodles. And then, of course, like I told y'all, the 5-year-old, he's... the 5-year-old is more damn near like a 10-year-old. He acts twice his age. So the 5-year-old was like, why are you making noodles? Mama just cooked. I told you the other day, the nigga made ramen noodles and then comes back in the kitchen to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which I don't even think the nigga makes. I don't even think he puts peanut butter on it because these kids are so retarded. They don't know how to spread peanut butter without tearing up the damn bread. So they just make jelly sandwiches, or they'll put Nutella on it for the peanut butter with jelly. You see that? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? This is the same kid that had to get his stomach pumped from eating too many Takis. So, when he, he's a very wasteful motherfucker, and a very greedy little bitch. Like, the nigga just eats up everything. Okay? Then let's move on to your daughter, who just last night, after a full course meal, when everybody is sleeping and your belly is hanging over your goddamn pants, you decide you want to try to make some waffles. Now, see, this could become problematic, right? Because when you wake up in the morning to cook breakfast and shit like you just did, and you wake me up every fucking morning at 2:30 and 3 o'clock with that bullshit, you then look in your refrigerator and you'll assume the last person that was up was me, right? So then the only way that you can resolve that mystery of, okay, how the fuck are there only 2 waffles left and I bought a box of 24? The only way you can resolve that is if you text your children and say, did you do that? Which they not such see, when you're a pushover as a mom or a parent, yeah, your kids will be honest with you because they don't fear the consequences. Does that make sense? So when you ask them, did you do this? Did you do that? They'll tell you, yeah, I did it. Why the fuck did you make waffles and didn't eat them? She just puts the waffles in the damn microwave and just walks off. Walks off. I'm still in the living room and I'm like, I hear the microwave going off. I'm like, bro, you gonna get that? Sure enough, I knew there was no syrup. So what does she do? Leaves it in the microwave and go to bed. But you don't have money for another, you don't have food for another mouth. I hope you niggas burn in fucking hell. So then, so that's the general layout of this nonsensical statement of we can't afford to feed an extra person. Yeah, the fuck you can. What you can't afford is the way you feed these fucking kids. The shit you allow, but I don't care to try to reconstruct how y'all live y'all life. I don't care to do it because y'all are so far gone. Every single one of y'all. I told you, living here is the equivalence of like living at a daycare. Watching badass kids do shit that you can't even say nothing about it because they're gonna go tell their parents. And then you gotta beat up parents. And I mean that with the adults as well. I am the only adult in this house. And you could tell me all day, again, you got dogs right now working. You know how some people say we keep the cats around to keep the rats out. Those cats are at work. My dad taught me that years ago. You can put on your uniform, drive up to this building, get out, clock in, and literally sit there with your fucking hands in your pockets. You never really activate anything in your mind to say, okay, I'm at work now. And I've said this before, some people are just stupid enough to thrive in these settings. I'm not trying to take any credit away, but some people are just dumb enough to where that's all that they can handle. without them losing their mind, without them putting forth too much brain power. Never mind you know, being at the position that you at your job. I see through that shit. I see through it. And these are the type of people that if it wasn't for corporate work, these people wouldn't know how to contribute to society. They're not builders. These are people that just consume. So that's why I said, when I put that frequency out in the world, that I'm somebody who's willing to clean toilets. I don't care if I got to flip a patty. I don't care what it is. I'm willing to do it. And you know what I think? Some dark force out there is like, I know you know how to do it. That's why I'm making you wait. Or like that dude said, all you're doing is extending that bow as far back as you can possibly stretch it. I know you know how to find a job, CJ. I know you don't mind doing anything for some money, CJ. I know you've never been late to a job, CJ. I know you don't call off and just make up shit to take off work, CJ. I know you willing to work 10 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours. I know you willing to bite down on what the real definition of pride is and say, hey, you guys, could you guys help me with a few dollars until I get my first paycheck, please? And not be worried about, what if they say no? You won't know that until you ask. So after he wastes about, 10 minutes of my time saying, you got to do something different, you not trying hard enough. I told this dude, do you really think that I talk the way I talk and expect somebody to support me, feed me, clothe me? Do you really think that? Don't answer that, because you're probably going to hurt yourself. Don't answer that. You better off getting up right now, slapping me in the face and say, take your ass back to Houston. I don't think you trying hard enough. Than to calmly sit there and say, nah, I don't think you doing everything that you say you doing. And I don't think you're doing everything that you've shown me you're doing. And this is what I mean by this is why I said my brother committed suicide, because there is nobody in my family who has any insight as to how life really works. I just talked about the movie Nefarious, how you can accomplish so much on the surface and then be so empty when it comes to anything spiritual. And when you are lacking that means that, no, you are not a good listener. No, you are not very informative, and you're not you damn sure don't seek the truth. You seek what fits. Even if the truth, like when he says, hey man, you need to find you a sugar mama, and I'm like, as comfortable as that statement may sound, that's not right. I'm not gonna sit there and date somebody just because I'm in a bad spot and hope that they can supply me with money so I can get through the tough times. No, sir. That falls on the shoulders of my parents, or it falls on my shoulders. That's it. That's it. So, he then says that apparently I'm telling two different sides of what I'm going through to both him and my parents. See, again, I'm talking about, and I'm finna end it now because, and I'm finna crank it up. This is why I've said for the 1,000th time, I would much rather be alone, because dealing with stupid fucking people that couldn't find their ass with both hands. They can go to work all day. They can buy all the tennis shoes in the world. They can have sex with all the women in the world. They can bring 39,000 babies into this world. They can play basketball till they play the bone, to the meat off their bone. But these people are absent of something that, fortunately for me, I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask to say, can I know more than everybody else? This all started from me being a kid trying to fit into my family. Coming from another family, my mom, to now being ingratiated to a new family with a stepmom and stepbrothers. All I wanted to do was fit in and be normal. And I feel like God said, don't even worry about this, man. I'm going to give you something better than that. And this is what it is. It's a sound mind. It's a sound spirit. My heart is very soft. Therefore, my outside is very hard. To protect the soft inside. And like I said, it's like a dog that you throwing scraps to, but then have the nerve to tell the dog, get out of here. Get your nasty ass out of here. And then on some of your better days, you want to pet this stray dog. On your better days, you come outside and damn near treat the dog like it's part of your family, but then go outside to the back door and throw out a whole fucking Thanksgiving turkey and say, get out of here, dog. We're not going to feed you every day. That's how it feels. And instead of crying about it, I feel like I don't want to be around these motherfuckers. I don't. They too stupid. Thoughtless, very immature, very corny. When they think they being funny, them niggas are just the farthest thing from funny. And I already knew this. I knew this before my brother passed away. Why the fuck would you want to go and be around them stupid motherfuckers? Why? Other than to sit there and shoot the shit with them. You bought you some new shoes? Oh, them the Jordan 4s? I got some of those. Them the Kyries? What kind of car is that? Is that a twin turbo booster engine? Hey, did you hear about the accident on I-10 and 59? That's what I'm supposed to be talking about. That's what I would have been talking about if I come around and waste 2-3 hours of my goddamn time and then drive back to wherever I'm coming from and say, whew, now we can talk about, now we can get back to reality. Now we can get back to reality. I'm so grateful for my cousin Denzel, who's about to give birth to a daughter. This man has almost probably sent me upward to $100,000, Jesus Christ, $1,000, you know, granted that was during the time where I had a job, so a lot of that money was being paid back. But the point is, that's a lot of money. He works for Tesla, so it's not like he's hurting for money, but I can count on 3 fingers how many times in the last 5 years he said, nah, man, I ain't got it right now. Versus me asking him at any time of night, any time of day, and he sends it. Almost like myself. He reminds me a lot of myself. I give when I can't afford to give. My brother don't deserve my presence out there on the basketball court of trying to actually help him become a better basketball player, even though this motherfucker will never play a game in his fucking life for money or anything, of recognition, nothing. You will be a black top basketball player in this little ass town that nobody knows your name. If you really want me to take the gloves off about that situation, nigga, you will never play basketball for any money. You don't even have the confidence to put up $20 fucking on a regular old street game, because you might lose. Or you might be losing and then start fouling the person to the point where they turn around and punch you in your fucking face because you just out of control, because you're losing. You don't deserve my presence, nigga, on the court. Y'all don't deserve my presence in this fucking house. My presence in the house shows you that there is a better way of living. You could be quiet and nothing wrong with you. You can clean your home and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a home that, nigga, the other day, last night, I'm eating some damn dry cereal to put in my stomach after I took my meds, and I turned my phone over and there's a fucking roach crawling on my leg. I had on sweatpants, so I couldn't feel it. There was never a motherfucking day when I was homeless that I could turn over my phone in a tent and see something crawling on me. Never. But I'm indoors and I gotta worry about cleaning my little area because 2 feet from my mattress, roaches are gonna be like, well, all this food in the kitchen, what make me want to stop here? I'm gonna keep going in that direction. So I had to take my parents' advice from way back in the day. No drinks, no wrappers, none of that shit when I'm getting ready to go to bed, and put all that, even water. I've seen roaches crawling in my cup and stand just where the water line is so they can drink. I'm like, oh, hell no. Got me fucked up. I could have gotten so mad and, hey, bro, you need to leave this fat, lazy, stupid ass motherfucking bitch you with so you can. I don't do that. I don't do that. Instead, I tell him, bro, fight through it, my nigga. If this your woman and you don't care about waking up seeing roaches scatter around the kitchen, if you don't care about her being overweight and all of that shit, and you really love her, bro, don't worry about what any of this other shit going on, my nigga. Be there for your female. And I told you. He looked me in the face and said, yeah, I do. I love her. I don't care about this filth. I don't care about her, her eating habits and all that shit. I don't care about it. She my girl. Okay. She your girl. Because I tell you right now, and I told y'all, some people are just stupid enough. Some people are just dumb enough to be with each other because nobody will challenge the other person. And if you do challenge them, you'll challenge them on a scale that it might take them a little longer for their engine to get to going and mine start to working. But ultimately, it'll be something like, hey, like here recently with the car. She's telling my brother, why don't you just get you something nice that can get you from point A to point B? And his argument, I want something. I want what I want. I'm tired of sacrificing and downgrading in my life. Any man with 100 pair of shoes ain't downgrading shit in his life. So when you have that going on, that's basic. That's basic. That's very fundamental, because I'll be the one to come out the woods and say, hey, dumbass, you're going to have to put more money into this car that you want versus getting a car with little to no issues and it gets you where you want to go. Simple. Problem solved. Problem solved. So this is why I said I'm sick of these motherfuckers. You niggas disrespect me to my face and behind my back, thinking that I sit here and I want to be supported by you niggas. You really think I want to stay in this house for another 3 years with this type of crazy shit going on? You really think I want to hope and pray somebody feed me every fucking day and I talk like this and I behave the way I do? That shows me one of two things. Either you really think I'm not out here doing what I say I'm doing, which I've shown you the proof, so you basically being ignorant. You're choosing to ignore what I'm showing you right to your fucking face. Or you are actually retarded. Something in your brain can't put together what you see with your eyes and what you might think in your heart as far as, yeah, my brother really out here trying, bro. And he ain't just applying for no big time job. This nigga can't even get a job where they paying $9.25 or some shit. No. So that's why I keep saying I'd rather be by my goddamn self, because just like my mama kept saying and my stupid ass brother was saying, you want to do what you want to do. Of course I want to do what I want to do, which what I want to do is go to work. When I keep telling them I want to go back to Houston and stuff, they're thinking that I just want to be wild and crazy. It's just crazy that they're describing the person that they are. Excuse me. You want to do what you want to do. You don't want to answer to nobody. No, I don't want to answer to stupid people. What the message to me should have been what that man said at the store. CJ, keep fighting, bro. Keep fighting. My cousin sent $35 a couple weeks ago at random when I was sitting there in the bed just going through it like, fuck, how am I going to get these pills, blah, blah, blah. And he sent $35 at 12 o'clock midnight and was like, keep going, fam. Just keep going. That's why I believe, that's who I believe is really assisting me through my life, and that is God. That's why I said, and just like when I said that I was trying to repent of a lot of shit going on in my life toward God, where I would, reference him more and thank him more often, and be more of a grateful wife to God. is that once you make that commitment, every time I've done that in my life, things get ratcheted up just a little bit. It's almost like that same day or the next day, I'll go through something that will just crush me and basically tell me like, hey, welcome back. You were still going through it when you was away. But I didn't want it to be as intense, because as far out as you were, it's kind of like being stranded out in the ocean. Yeah, it's hard to be out here, but how hard would it be when when the winds start blowing, when them tides start coming in? Now you like, holy shit. And that's what it's like. It's like, okay, you are already in the middle of the ocean by yourself. But when you say you ready to come back, you know how it is being a soldier for God. You back on the battlefield. Bullets are flying. Bombs are being thrown. And that's the real representation of being a Christian. On this physical plane, there are going to be more people who don't understand what you're going through than there are people who do. There are going to be more people that understand how to talk to you and how to help you process your thoughts than there are people who are going to just antagonize you and piss you off because they stupid and they don't know any goddamn thing. Having that type of spiritual understanding helps you not rob and steal and kill and do all of these crazy things because you don't have any answers. I have answers. And that is, it's either one of two things. Either I'm going to be a lifelong loser, or I'm being stretched back so far that once that hold on me finally gets let go, the sky is the limit, literally. I've never struggled on how and where to get a car. I can get a car in goddamn 2 days. There is nothing when it comes to getting a home, an apartment, or a house that I have to be put on a waiting list. I got an apartment in 48 hours. In crunch time, I didn't know of a method or anything like that. It all came to me through God. I was up with a migraine from hell, and the person I was living with kept making these threats like, oh, we're gonna, the lease at the house is up, and I don't want you coming, and all of that. And I was able to find a home because this person actually thought that I would be left sitting outside with all of my luggage, while her and my buddy just move on, and I'm sitting there stuck. So it was a huge slap in her face to see me be able to get an apartment in 2 days. She was like, how the hell you ain't got to be on no waiting list? Y'all ain't got nothing on y'all background? I don't know why I keep thinking I went through the front door. A female, finding a female. You think you don't think I know how to walk up to a female at a place and say, hey, honey, how you doing? Hey, look, you very attractive. I want to take you out on a date. Is that all right? Do you have a man? Are you talking to anybody? Are you seeing anybody right now? So I don't have a problem with women. Now let's move in. Give me a second, man. Oh, this thing is probably wet. But when it comes to kids, you don't think I know. Even though I never had them, you don't think that I'm not prepared to have children. That I don't understand the ways of the woman. That I don't understand the spiritual aspect to life, the mental, the physical. So, in closing, I have an interview tomorrow, and the phone is glitching. So I have an interview tomorrow, which is Thursday, and it sounds like it's gonna work out. It does. And when and if it does, it's gonna be the greatest. You know, what I want my people to understand is that I hate you niggas so much that I cannot wait to get away from y'all and only deal with y'all in small doses. That's what it is. I don't want to be around y'all as often as I am now, because I'm going to see and I'm going to hear too much that I don't like. When I'm sitting around y'all and y'all are talking about water, and y'all are talking about accidents and traffic, and y'all are talking about engines and motors, I have no interest. And it's actually, in my mind, a shame that so-called churchgoers have this level of intellect. A majority of the time y'all are talking about nothing. I've never heard you niggas graze conversations that are spiritual. Never. You know, my mother's a deaconess, and when I called my stepmother, which I do not do at all, but I told you, I have no doubt that I am living life 99% correct. I do shit that just out of impulse, and I'm like, why would you even do that? Why would you tell your stepmom to call you when 99% of the time that I'm alive, I'm just like, I don't give a fuck about that fee. I don't care about that lady. I don't. I appreciate her for what she was able to do for my dad, but her as a person, I don't care about her like that. She's put herself in that position where I don't give. You know how many times I come around since my brother passed away, and I catch this lady looking out the corner of her eye at me, and you know, looking at me like, how the fuck is it, like the feeling that I get is like she's looking at me like, how the fuck was this kid able to stay like connected to reality? Why am I not looking at this dude and I see black around his eyes because he done turned into a crackhead? Why is it not that? So, in closing, because I am yapping, if it wasn't for YouTube, I could possibly think that I'm missing something in life. Something I've not thought about. Well, let me say this. My mother was advising that I go and talk to Texano. This is a church-going deaconess that passes it off as, you need medicine, you need to talk to somebody. Am I against that? In some cases, yeah. But this is why my brother that passed away felt like there was no hope. Because you can talk to people for days and hours. If they don't have a spiritual connection to what you're going through, it's sometimes very difficult for them to diagnose you with what they think is wrong. And a lot of it is not anything you can see in the physical realm. And I really do think that is a cop-out. That is a, because I have respect for my parents, understanding that they only working with what they know. They only working with the tools that they got. So I can't completely just criminalize y'all with something that y'all don't even know how to do. So I'll talk to you guys later, man. Thanks for listening.